Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It's Thursday, July 10th, and we are here trying to help you make better, sometimes just less bad financial decisions. And, it's not your fault. It is very daunting to juggle everything in your life and also everything that comes with the money aspects of your life. So if you're seeking an extra set of eyes and ears on a situation, on maybe not even a big problem, just an idea that you have, why don't you get in touch with us? Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us a note, and if you'd like to join us on the air live, check the box. Thanks to every single one of you who has not only donated to my Ride for the Cause, which is that little streaming thing across the top, but also who has provided some very interesting musical additions to my training playlist. So it really runs the gamut. And if you've got an idea for a big pump-up song or something you think is going to be helpful for me as I train to ride 275 miles over 3 days in the beginning of September, send those suggestions along. The playlist is insane already. It just has a zillion songs, which I love. And, when you're riding for that long, the trick is that you have to have a lot of different kinds of music. So right now, Mark, I have 8 hours and 5 minutes worth of songs that are on the playlist, 113 songs. So if you get more ideas, everybody, just send them along. Again, just do it through the website, JillOnMoney.com. And if you have a financial question, do that also. And if you'd like to donate to the Cycle for the Cause, I appreciate it if you would. What was that?
That's me knocking. Can I ask you a question? Are you always cycling with music? At any point, do you just like to have a little bit of your own time and a little silence?
Who is it? When I'm on the ride itself, I think that I tend to not listen to music in the first hour or two of riding. But you're riding for 5 to 7 hours over the course of a day. So sometimes I want a little something. And when I'm training, when I'm outside, I don't usually have as much. But if I'm I put my bicycle on this thing, a trainer called a Kicker Core. So if it's bad weather, and I still want to get a ride in, then I have this long playlist that I love. And, I was out riding a couple weeks ago. It was really beautiful. It was 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was outside of New York City, so not in the city. And I just had no music, and you just listen to the birds, and you kind of in your own head, and the breathing kind of centers you. So it's very helpful to have a little bit of both. Anyway, thanks again to everybody. Really appreciate it. You guys are generous and delightful, and I very much appreciate this community. You can't imagine how amazing it is for me and for Mark to have you guys there for us. So we appreciate that. Okay, let's do some emails from Virginia, who writes that she has 3 kids, and she says, I have some savings. All 3 of my adult children know that when I go, any available funds are to be split 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. One wanted to buy a condo. She has had many medical problems and chronic diseases. Thus, she has had limited income. The other 2, they own their homes. I gave her $80,000 as a down payment. Later, I told her that was part of her inheritance. So when the division of my assets occurs in the future, the other 2 kids will get that 80 before the rest is divided equally. She was very upset. She didn't know it was part of her inheritance. Needless to say, the other 2 thought it was only fair. How should I proceed? Virginia, I remember that I spoke to a friend of mine who had a few bucks and in this similar kind of a situation. And he had a great way of thinking it through for himself. And I'm sorry that your daughter's upset and, whatever. I'm sure she would have been upset whatever you decided, it sounds like. There's one thing to be fair. And there's another to say, do I have to be equal or equitable? And I think what you are really trying to do is strike this balance. It seems to me that, if you had, let's just pretend that you had, I don't know, let's say you had $1 million when you died. Okay. Not you, but the kids had $1 million. You would say, the 80 grand would come off the top to each of those kids and the rest of the money split 1/3 each. That seems to me a very fair compromise. And if your daughter can't actually wrap her arms around what that is and her head around it, I think that's really her problem. It's not yours. I think that the way you proceed is you say, I'm very sorry. I hope you enjoy this place. And thank you for your input. I don't know if there's much more to say. And I also don't think it makes sense for you to really wrap yourself around the axle about her issue. You know, she's got her condo. She's good. She'll get some inheritance. Like, it's better to have, in some respects, isn't it better for her to have the money today and enjoy this condo rather than wait until you die? You know, that's just so that's how I would proceed. I know that probably seems a little bit harsh, but I kind of like, geez, I don't know. Mark, you waiting for your inheritance?
No, I mean, I agree. She got the 80 now. The other two kids will get 80 each, and then whatever's left will be divided a third. It's not like this 80 is it.
Yeah, and also, by the way, if she doesn't like it, maybe the 80 should be it. That's mean. Okay, this is from Matt, who says, "Hi, Jill and Mark. Thank you for all you do. It's my third time writing in. Third time's a charm." He's in the three-peat category, Mark. Your advice has been incredibly helpful. Last fall, I asked about switching from a pre-tax to a Roth for our retirement accounts, especially given the long-term financial picture. My parents are in their 70s. They've got a net worth of $7 million. The grandfather is 93 and worth $4 million. Talk about planning responsibly. This is amazing. So Matt says, I don't want to rely on the future inheritance. Also, I don't want to ignore the likelihood of receiving a bunch of money from my grandfather and a share of my parents' estate. In the past few years, our financial picture has shifted significantly. My parents now generously gift up to the annual IRS limit, which is actually $19,000. And they cover half of our son's daycare, which is $750 a month. They pay our phone bill. They contribute $500 a month to the kid's 529 plan. Oh, my God.
Phone bill?
I mean, that's a little much, but okay. Good for you if you got it. My grandfather gives us $10,000 a year. We're so grateful. None of this was expected. Okay. So maybe that's the kind of the nice part that they didn't expect it. And so he goes on to write, we've always lived below our means and invested the difference, as has the past two generations in my family. I'm 39. My wife is 33. We have a 2-year-old and another one due in the fall. So the question is, how do we directionally plan for early retirement, maybe, between age 50 and 55? He goes on to say, I don't hate my job, but I really want to spend more time on what matters. Finances, $850,000 at Vanguard, bunch of different kinds of accounts, 75-25 stock bond. $600,000 home with a $275,000 mortgage. It's a 30-year mortgage with 2.74%. He makes $180,000 a year. She makes $65,000. They spend about $8,000 a month. Question: is too much of our portfolio tied up in retirement accounts? Should we consider funding a 457 if my wife switches schools for access, or continue building flexibility in our taxable brokerage, or both? All right. First of all, definitely do Roth. Definitely do Roth, okay? That's for sure. So we already gave you that advice. I would build up my non-retirement assets a bunch, because if you did want, let's just pretend that, you are young. Your grandfather is, probably going to pass away sooner than your parents, right? And so you're 39. So you'll have $500,000 that's added to the overall game plan. But I don't want to load you up on having too much pre-tax money, because you are going to have a lot of money in your life. So I don't think you have too much tied up in retirement accounts now, but I do think that it depends if that 457 plan, if that is a pre-tax plan or is it a Roth plan. And I have a feeling it's pre-tax. I don't know do we see a lot of Roth 457s? I'm not sure we do, as many as, like, say, the 403Bs.
Not that common yet.
Yet, right. But I think you're in great shape. I wouldn't worry about a thing. You're doing great. I would probably do, if she were to switch jobs and she has a 457, if there's a Roth version, sure, go crazy. Put a bunch of money in there. If there's not, then just build up the plain old brokerage account. Okay, next up, we have Ty, who says, I live in California. I'm retired. With Treasury bills close to what CDs are paying, would it be better to buy bills, since California does not tax them, I think, is what the question is. I don't know what your tax bracket is, Ty. Here's the funny thing. When you're in a high tax state like California or New York, the idea of not paying state income tax is great. You just have to do a quick calculation and you can Google this. It's a tax equivalent rate of return. Compare what it would be to get that treasury bill versus the CD interest rate and determine which is a better deal if you're not paying state income tax on it. Or, by the way, if you've got a lot of money sloshing around, maybe you think about putting some money into California municipal bonds. They're not as safe as the federal, but pretty safe. I think you'd be okay. Okay, here we go. This is from Ernie. And this is awesome. So this is the FIRE Fine Semi-Retirement Abroad. FIRE, Financial Independence Retire Early. FINE is our version of that, which is Financial Independence New or Next Endeavor. Okay, so we are two expats who are feeling the urge for adventure and exploration again. We recently read your book and started listening to your podcast, which have both been very insightful. They're talking about my book, The Great Money Reset. So thank you, Ernie. Okay, after moving back to the United States and being in our mid-40s, we feel burnt out and we're considering quitting our jobs to join the FIRE or FINE movement by relocating abroad once more. Amazing. I always think these people are so brave for doing this because I'm such a wimp. I always think I would love to do it, but then I haven't done it. So, okay. So Ernie says after we'd sell our house, we would have combined investment portfolio of about $740,000 and $212,000 in retirement accounts. We are uncertain about our eligibility for Social Security. If we are eligible, by the time we reach 59 and a half, it would probably be a small amount. Well, it wouldn't be 59 and a half. It would be your full retirement age, which is 67. If you've worked in U.S.-based organizations for 40 quarters or 10 years total, you will be entitled to some Social Security payment. But I get it. You don't want to count on it. They are going to invest the $740,000 into dividend-paying stocks and relocate south of the border in South America, where we estimate that our annual living expenses will be around, wait for it, $36,000. Our U.S.-generated passive income will not be taxed in South America for 10 years, and then it only gets taxed at a 12% rate. Currently, we're earning around 7% on our passive income. We're also planning to supplement it with some freelance work. Do you think this is a viable strategy? Are we taking significant risks with our financial future? We would greatly appreciate your advice. Thanks so much. Mark, I'm going to let you go first because I think you're going to be surprised about my advice.
Well, I would just say that, yeah, it's earning 7% right now. It's been a good few years, but, I don't know what the future holds if they're going all in on stocks.
So the reason why I think you'd be surprised is I don't think there's a huge downside. You don't have kids. You're not uprooting anyone. No one's relying on you. So do it and see how you feel. Do get a job, get some freelance work, bring some money in and see how it goes. And what's the worst case scenario? You come back. Don't buy any real estate there. Have some fun. If you're burnt out and you're in your 40s and, who cares? I don't see the hugest downside would be you blow it, you invest the 740, we go into a massive bear market, your 740 turns into 400, you come back. What's so bad? Yeah, Mark, aren't you shocked that I'm saying that?
Well, like you said, there's really, they don't have any responsibilities. There's no kids. If you're going to do it, this is the situation to try it out in.
Absolutely. I think that Mark's right, though. Don't count on getting essentially getting a 10 or if you're getting 7% return on your passive income. Yeah, great. But, presume that the amount goes to 500. You're going to have a bear market some point in the next 10 years. And you have to think about how you'll feel about it. What I'd love is if you guys, the way I think, the only way I would do it just personally, you guys can do you, but I would do it as I can make enough money in freelance work to cover the expenses of $36,000. So can you each get some freelance work, just get that money, and then you don't have to touch your account. That's what I would do. I'd be looking to make $50,000 a year between the two of you, netting yourselves out, living on your 36, boom, done. Then it's let the money go and you don't even have to live off that money. You can just have it invested. I think that's the best way to do it. But again, you do you. I'm always amazed, how are you so burnt out in your 40s? What are you doing? Maybe they're like emergency room doctors, right? I shouldn't say that. People get burnt out. Another fine show, Mark. Just fantastic. We are so grateful that you join us every day, Monday through Friday, here at our program. If you would like to find more of us, you should subscribe to the Money Watch podcast. We drop those episodes on Saturdays and Sundays, a little bit more of a deeper dive into some of the elements that help build your financial foundation, I would say. Yeah, so check that out. You can subscribe to this program, Jill on Money, on the Odyssey app, and also the Money Watch Show, or wherever you find your favorite podcast. Please leave us a rating and review wherever you listen. And of course, put your hands metaphorically on someone's back, like mine for my ride. Give me some good recommendations for my playlist. I need them. Thank you so much for listening. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. We'll talk to you tomorrow.